we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me do an official intro for YouTube because we're gonna get this up on YouTube too.
Sure.
Cool. Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. You know who it is, and it is time for another interview. We're having a discussion with YouTuber gone rapper, the one and only content creator extraordinaire, Mr. KSI. How are you doing, dude?
Yo, I'm very good. How are you?
Good. I know it's a little bit later where you are than it is for me.
Yeah, it's like 12, fam.
That's not even that late for like a millennial. For like, come on, it's not even that late. It's not even that late. You'd be up this late anyway.
No? Maybe not. I think it depends. Like, I don't know. Like recently, my schedule's starting to get a bit mad now that things are starting to go back to normal. Okay. Well, in England, anyway. I don't know how it is in America.
Are you talking about in terms of the pandemic?
Yeah, the pandemic.
Yeah. But over here in if in America, if the pandemic were a video game, we're playing it on God mode right now. We're basically like, it's the hardest setting on Duke Nukem right now. We're just basically saying like, fuck it. We're just like going to let it go as crazy as possible. And then our president's going to send like a bunch of military people into every major city around the country to quell all of the police protests around America. So that's how we're playing it right now. That's how we're doing with the pandemic. So
hopefully that goes well.
Yeah, wish us luck.
I just feel like this whole year has just been a write-off anyway.
I know, man. It's the worst year. It really is the worst year. But you did kick things off with this new record. So let me ask you, since it's been released, have you been happy with the reception, the results, the numbers? Like, did you outperform sort of what you had expected? I mean, have people been kind of turning heads saying like, this internet personality guy, it's like, how is he kind of kicking off his music career in such a strong way?
Yeah, it definitely like crushed every single expectation that I had and many other people had, if I'm being honest. Like, as a YouTuber, making music, there's always the stigma that, first of all, you can't make music.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you do, it's going to be bad and it's not going to get, it's not going to do well critically anyway. So I think it was a huge thing from you, to like review my album. First of all, like you just reviewing it in itself was like huge for me. And I think for a lot of YouTube rappers to see that. And then for you to also, not give it like a not good, like even then it's like, oh wow, okay,
yeah, like to at least take it seriously, what I mean?
Yeah. And then to get like a 4, like 5, like I think that's insane. Like, and for me, this album, like I didn't get as much time as I wanted to. Like I felt the coronavirus kind of ruined a lot of things and a lot of ideas, and I didn't get to do everything to the best that I wanted it to do. So I'm already working on my next album and making sure like with that one, it's perfect, like with everything that I do. And essentially I just want to make sure that I get a better rating from you. And I feel like, there's a lot I need to do with that when it comes to like working on the lyrics or working on, the type of beats that I choose, the layout of the album, how smooth it is throughout. And just making sure that, I'm always improving and progressing with everything that I do. As a YouTuber, that's just how it is. Like you always have to re-innovate yourself and, progress and keep doing better. And I'm just the type of person that I hate just accepting the norm or accepting just one thing. I like to always, push the boundaries and do more. So I feel like with this, my next album, I'm going to be doing that. And yeah, it's with the album that I released, it's opened up, so many doors, man. Like when it comes to music, because I know a lot of artists were very hesitant towards me because they didn't really get it. They didn't know where I was at. They thought, they didn't. what, they didn't think this was serious. They thought this was just a bit of a joke and all this and that. So once they saw the numbers, once they saw that I was serious, and once they saw that, you know, I had musical talent, I feel like people are now starting to respect me more and take me serious. And, you know, like, I'm starting to get into conversations of other UK artists. So,
you know, given the doors that you were just talking about opening and the numbers you were able to achieve, and the fact that, I mean, prior to this, you've been managing your own, like, you know, empire-sized brand, you know, just through the YouTube channel alone. Like, do you feel like at this point with your music, like, are you fielding any label offers, or would you even humor such a thing? Do you even need such a thing at this point? Because, like, can a label even promote you or put you in a place that you can put yourself in, essentially?
Well, I'm with BMG at the moment.
Yeah.
But
so was this released through them? I thought this was sort of like your own thing.
No, so that was released through them. This was released through them. But I with BMG, I guess they've kind of just let me do my thing. Yeah. And, you know, like, they've helped here and there with, like, the marketing, etc. But a lot of times it's all just come from me. I've just gone, I know what I'm doing. This is, you know, this is my audience. This is my album. This is how I want it to go. So they kind of just said, okay, cool. We'll just help you with whatever you need. So, you know, when it's come to like, you know, money for, like, music videos and, you know, budgets, etc., they'll help me with that rather than me using my own money, etc. So, yeah, like, yeah, they've been pretty helpful. And, you know, obviously I've had several labels, you know, interested in me because, you know, I'm quite unique. I'm quite, I guess, special because of the audience that I have and because of the fan base I have, and it's quite dedicated and it's quite large, and it's quite hard for a musician to have that, you know, dedicated fan base that are prepared to listen to whatever you put out. So,
but to go back to you know, the doors, but maybe bring it to a different topic that you were kind of referring to earlier. Do you feel like now that the album is out, that stigma that often a lot of content creators are faced, not just, you know, on YouTube and not just in regards to music, but any time you try to take your brand or, you know, your sort of pre-established notions of how people look at you and bring that to anything else, you know, oh, I'm a YouTuber, but I also want to start doing stand-up comedy. I also want to start doing this. I also want to start doing that. And, you know, immediately come the reactions of, ugh, you're just a YouTuber, you know, just keep doing that. You know, now that you've gotten this record out and you've gotten some of the reactions that you have, like, how close do you feel like you are from just completely wiping that stigma away? Is it still there to some degree? Are there still
I don't think I'll ever get rid of that stigma. I think that stigma will always be there. No matter what I do, like, if I want to do stand-up, I'm going to get a lot of people going, no, you're a YouTuber. What are you doing? Okay, it's different. You don't understand. And it's one of those things where you just have to prove yourself and show everyone that you can do it. And, you know, you essentially have to work harder to, I guess, make a name for yourself and show that, no, I'm not just doing well because of my audience. I'm doing well because the product is good. And I feel like it takes time for that to happen. You know, it's not like with this whole music thing, I just thought, oh, I'm a YouTuber. Okay, let me just do music now. It's one of those things where, you know, I tried it as a hobby. You know, I enjoyed music. I've been doing it for years. Like, I did it when I was younger to help me learn in school because I had a terrible memory. I still have a terrible memory, but I mean, the boxing doesn't help with me getting punched in the head repeatedly. But yeah, I'd use it to help me, you know, learn in certain subjects. I'd make little raps, like chemistry raps and physics raps, and you can actually find some of them online on some channel I'm not going to mention. It's a bit cringe, but you know, I've been doing music for a while, like, you know, just working on my craft, getting better and better and better. And Lamborghini was the first song where, you know, it was like half serious, half not, because you know, first of all, I was gassed. I was able to afford a Lamborghini. Shout out FIFA coins. But I was gassed. I was able to even buy a Lamborghini. So, you know, I was like, oh, let's make a song about it. And it just took off, and it made me realize, you know what, maybe I can actually take this seriously. So at that point onwards, I've kind of just really just worked on my craft, you know, been in studios, worked with several people, and worked on, you know, how I say things, and worked on, you know, my wordplay, and, you know, all the type of beats that I would use, and all this and that, production, you know, really trying to get in on the ins and out of music and just try and find my sound and just get better. And that's just what music has been for me. Like, it's not a thing that just happened. It's been a gradual process, and people are now seeing me do well. But, you know, a lot of those people didn't get to see my past and didn't get to see me, you know, fail tremendously several times. So it's nice to win now, I guess.
I was going to say, you just kind of outed yourself a second ago there, because if on the next record there is not a chemistry rap, or there is not, like, you know, a maths rap or something like that.
Oh God,
we're all going to be massively disappointed. Okay, just, you know, just letting you know.
Yeah, man.
You were talking about earlier, again, some of the opportunities and, you know, people reaching out that have come your way as a result of the record dropping and the reception it's gotten, and UK artists specifically reaching out. Is that something that you wish that you had more of on the original album, like more crossovers with people from your own country?
I mean, yeah, of course. Like, you know, I think everyone would, you know, obviously I'm British, you know, I'd love to have more people from my country, you know, want to work with me. But, you know, like, let's just say certain people just ask for, like, way too much money or, like, just for, like, a feature or stuff like that. And, you know, I kind of just figured out, like, what would work with what I had. And, you know, I was just thinking, okay, with my audience as well, what would work for the album, etc. And yeah, I think it's just come together quite nicely. And now hopefully, you know, I mean, even already, like, I've already worked with quite a few UK artists for my next album. So I feel like this next album is going more the way I wanted it to go, rather than the first one where I had to just make do with what I had because of, you know, the whole YouTube stigma and, you know, people just, I guess, feeling a certain type of way because of who I am, etc. So
in terms of, like, you know, where the next album might go or where you want it to go, is that more of like a stylistic direction? Because, I mean, you know, you could sort of go on to explain yourself, but I guess specifically I'd be, you know, curious to know, are there any interests for you musically to cross over into, you know, given England, you know, given Britain, be it some drill or maybe obviously not like lyrically, but, you know, maybe some drill or like, you know, some grime or something like that?
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, that's definitely going to be in the second album. You know, I want to definitely represent England a lot more with the second album. I felt like maybe with this first album, it was quite American orientated, but, you know, as a kid, I listened to a lot of American rap. So, you know, that's just how it was. And, you know, UK music wasn't really there like it is now, especially in the rap scene. So I definitely want to, you know, the audience that I have, showcase a lot of British artists. So.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's from there, is that a super exciting prospect for you? Because it seems like the music scene with guys like Skepta getting, you know, kind of like the Drake you know, like co-mingling a little bit, and Stormzy and you know, the guys like Pop Smoke over here having sort of opened up the drill floodgates a little bit more, because there's so many Americans, you know, sort of copying the UK version of that now. You know, do you feel like the country's rap scene is kind of on the precipice of something, you know, like breaking to a larger audience? Breaking to a larger audience than it would have had before.
100%. Like, I feel like drill is the genre that's allowed that to happen. Like, I think a lot of artists would have loved grime to be the case, but I just didn't feel that it translated well to American audiences. Whereas drill, yeah, like, it's just like a perfect fit, and I feel like that's probably the genre that's gonna open up a lot of UK artists to American audiences, and it's exciting, man. Drill is popping off here, man. Like it is doing bits. You know, it seems like everyone's doing drill, and you know, I mean, I feel like I need to do it as well, just to pay homage. And you know, I always like to try stuff as well. You know, I'm not a guy that is scared to scared to take risks. For example, like, you know, I think with even some of the features that I have, that I've put my vocals on as a feature, is going to shock a lot of people, just to show my versatility and show that, you know, I'm not just a one-trick pony. I can do it all. And I think that's just my whole career, essentially. Like, my whole career is showing that I can just do more than just one thing. So,
you know, given your feelings on drill and the way it's kind of been able to open up the scene and spread a lot of artists, you know, sort of outside of the borders of the UK, you know, at least a lot of the press that we see of it over here, when we're not hearing artists who are copying it sort of on, you know, the state side of things, there's a lot of discussion coming out of the UK of how violent it is and sort of the limitations that have come down judicially on what certain artists can say in certain songs. Do you feel like the genre is misunderstood to some degree? Yeah,
I feel like with drill, you know, a lot of these artists, they're just rapping about their lives, man. That's just how it is. Like, that's what they've been brought up in. And, you know, it makes sense for them to rap about what they're seeing, you know, from day to day.
Sure.
So, I feel like it is just misunderstood. And obviously because it's violent and scary, people just want to live in a bubble that, you know, everything is nice and lovely and peaceful. But, you know, the world ain't like that, man. The world is fucked. And there is a lot of shit things that happen. So, you know, I feel like drill is a representation of what is going on, I guess, behind closed doors or what the public doesn't want to see. That's just what's happening. So, yeah.
Going into, you know, some of the hip hop that you were talking about listening to when you were younger, because you were, you know, discussing, coming up listening to a lot of American rap, which is why it would make sense that sort of has such a large impact on your record here. You know, what were some of the artists that you remember sort of having the largest impact on you when you were young? I mean, you definitely, probably recall a time when, people still listen to CDs, or, you know, music downloading was initially becoming a thing. Like, what were some of those first records that you were getting your hands on that you remember coming back to the most and sort of replaying to death?
Well, I mean, I think for me, it kind of started off with obviously like people like Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, especially, you know, back in the day when I'd be obsessed with my computer, and, you know, I couldn't afford to buy CDs or buy music, so everyone would use LimeWire, including me, just to, you know, be able to listen to tunes and, you know, just, you know, vibe to it. And yeah, Lil Wayne, obviously Kanye West, Drake, and then eventually once I started to really explore into the YouTube realm, I started to, you know, listen to people like Hopsin and Tyler the Creator, and, you know, I guess, you know, Earl Sweatshirt and all those type of people that were a bit more, you know, off key, but I don't know. I kind of just fucked with it.
Off key and a lot more internet, because I feel like around that 2010, 2011 time was really when it's like rappers who were sort of just born online, which prior to that in the bling era, you know, you had some guys who would pop out of that like Soulja Boy, you know, who would sort of like be this weird internet phenomenon. And he'd have kind of like a different style and, you know, not really kind of carry himself in the same way that more industry established artists would. And then it's like kind of like those floodgates broke once it was, as you were just saying, Tyler and Hopsin and, you know, even Danny Brown and Kendrick. It was kind of like the sky's the limit and you could be as weird as you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Especially people like Bass God.
Yes, exactly. Who, you know, who's a Soulja Boy disciple, you know, in his own right.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of where it went for me. It was just a lot of that bling bling type rap, and then it went into the off key internet type rap, And then, yeah, it kind of just become like this thing where, well, maybe even including, I call it like Call of Duty montage music.
Okay, explain this genre to me.
So people like Breaking Benjamin,
okay,
Red, yeah, that type of song.
Well, it's not a bad place to start because Old Town Road was popping off on the Red Dead Redemption montage at first, because that started off. It was going hot on YouTube off of the Red Dead Redemption montage, and that's where the song first started to take off. So if you're Breaking Benjamin popping off on a Call of Duty montage, I mean, good for you.
Well, yeah, and I just kind of got to a point where now I just listen to a lot of music everywhere. I love music from R&B to hip hop to just weird shit, rock. I'm just a fan of music, and for me, I feel like I can distinguish, what is good and what isn't, personally anyway.
You alluded to earlier with your musical background, talking about how making music is nothing new for you. You're not just sort of like deciding to do this at random now.
Yeah.
What were some of those initial times in your life that you recall wanting to be sort of creative in that realm? Whether it be, I know I know you play a little sax. I've seen some footage of you playing.
God.
Whether it be something like that or writing rhymes, writing bars, something like that. What are some of your earliest times kind of getting into that field?
There's one video where I did like a search and destroy rap, and I remember I made this. This was years ago, and first I was gassed. I was able to 5v1 a search and destroy and clutch it and win. So I thought it'd be a sick idea to make a rap about it, and I think that was one of the early stages where I was like attempting stuff. Obviously, the rap is terrible. If you listen to it now, it's so bad. But I think that's when I started to really just figure out stuff when it came to rapping about things that were actually happening. And then also like when I went into rap battles, so I got inspired by epic rap battles of history, where they would rap, have like battles again. I don't know, like Obama versus like Clinton or something like that. So I'm not really good with politics, but so it's stuff like that. And and I would kind of do my own with a friend of mine called Randolph, and we would do like Messi versus Ronaldo and Arsene Wenger versus Mourinho and stuff like this. And we'd post this on YouTube, and it did quite well because of it. Like, obviously my channel is quite football based, so I understood that I couldn't just, do something random. It had to be quite related to football, but I'd work my music into it whenever I could. And, I did quite a lot of music with Randolph as well. A lot of music we didn't put out, thank God, because it's fucking trash or just outrageous, and we would have fully regretted it. But there's definitely times where me and Randolph would just work on music, and we were just like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to have a joint album one day. And we actually eventually did one with New Age. But I'd say I've been doing this music thing for a while, and I feel like around Lamborghini times 2014, 2015, 2016 was when I started to really try stuff, and 2016 was when I decided, okay, let me try and take it seriously. And 2017 plus it just went nuts.
Not just with your artistic aspirations, but I guess like your career aspirations in this, like what exactly are they going forward? Because the thing is, like, the type of notoriety, the type of numbers, the type of money that you're making, like, you don't need to become the next Kanye West to have that. You know what I mean? You don't need to, like, you don't necessarily, as you were kind of saying in your like reaction to my review. You know, you don't need to get into the music industry for the money. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, if you are like putting out records, climbing, making connections, like, you know, what exactly is just driving you to do that, if not to sort of like build your career, as it were, because you don't necessarily need music to have a career. You've kind of already got a career of your own in a way.
I think it's literally because I just enjoy it. Like, it's just been a hobby of mine for years, man. Like, you know, same with YouTube, I just enjoy it. And same with boxing, like, I enjoy it. Like, that's just the thing. Like, I just enjoy these things. So I don't know. I've always just had this thing with me where I just create little mini goals for myself. I don't have like a big goal that I want to get to. Like, I couldn't tell you what my big goal was in life. I didn't know I was gonna be a YouTuber for my career. I didn't know I was gonna be doing boxing at any point. I didn't know that I was gonna be able to get like a #2 album in the UK charts. Like, I didn't know all of these things were gonna happen. It was just something that, you know, I just enjoyed doing certain things, and then opportunities arose, and then I just worked hard, and I just keep working hard, and I don't have a goal. I don't have like an end point, which is,
you just
I don't
want
know,
to be better next time around.
Yeah, I just always want to improve as a person, just constantly, and just see how far I can improve, and then and just, I guess, go from there.
Well, let me ask you about something a little more trivial, because you know, this is kind of integral to, you know, your genre, the scene, and everything. You know, rap beef. I mean, you know, even before you were making music, you were no stranger to beef. Actually, you know, after this album came out, you sort of pulled me into a beef vicariously, talking to Rice Gum, saying that he's going to come out with his own record, and that if he gets a better score from me than you got. I mean, you know, let's be honest here. You know, you know that's never going to happen. So it's there's no risk in that bet. So it's like, you were so serious making that. You were just like, if you can make a record that Anthony Fantano gives a bigger score, and it's like, you know, that's not going to happen.
Of course. But, you know, the thing is, with like, when people try to test me, you know, I'm not afraid to, you know, fight back. Like, I don't care who you are, I will, you know, fight back. That's just how I am. Just, it's in my nature. So, you know, when it's come to people like Net Nobody, or, you know, even Harry from my mate Harry from Sidemen, or whoever, you know, Rice Gum, whoever, like, you know, I will always clap back. And even in the boxing, you know, Joe Weller, Logan Paul, and eventually Jake Paul, you know, I'll always fight back, and I always clap back. You know, I ain't no bitch. Like, it's just part of me where I just feel like, you know, I don't like getting disrespected, and I don't like when, you know, I guess people can feel like they can walk all over me, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I always have to, you know, stand my ground and show that, you know, I'm a different animal. I'm a different beast. And, you know, when I'm switched on, like, no one can fucking beat me. That's just like my mindset. But like, a lot of the times, like, I'm very chill. Like, if you met me, you'd be like, bro, you're the most chill person ever. Like, if you're my enemy, then it's fucked for you. But if you're my friend, then it's calm. That's just how I see it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, well, I mean, again, you know, the better Rice Gum album is never going to come out. Let's just establish that right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, are there any YouTube rappers out there at the moment that you feel like, you know, are out rapping you, or would give you that competition?
YouTube rappers. I think I'm above YouTube rapping now, man. I feel like, but
talk your shit. I'm not going to get in the way.
No, but it's fact. I feel like, you know, the numbers say so, and I don't think anyone can touch me at this point when it comes to YouTube. And that doesn't. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm gonna help. I help YouTubers wherever I can. Like YouTube rappers. Like I feel like as the genre, I guess YouTube rap, it's come a long way, and it's it keeps improving, and people making good tunes. I know you shat on Quedeca the other day.
Just one song. Just one song.
Yeah.
Okay, it was just one track.
I don't know.
I've heard good tracks and verses.
Well, yeah. So people like Quedeca can make good songs, and he has improved tremendously. And there's people like Randolph as well. I feel like has done very well. Crypt. I mean, obviously, my man always just loves rapping fast. But when you actually think about it, like his wordplay and everything, he does do bits. And you probably have your own opinion on him, but I feel like the whole scene is doing well, and I think it's nice to see. But for me, my competition isn't YouTube rappers anymore. My competition is now UK artists, and that's kind of where I'm at. And eventually, then maybe once I can surpass that, I can then look at US artists. And then,
so basically, what you're saying is, once you have figuratively, like, suffocated Stormzy with a pillow, you've got the pillow, and you're just like, he's sleeping, and you're quietly slipping into the bedroom, and you're just like, and you're just like, ah, and he's grabbing your hands, and he's fighting the pillow off his face, and you're like, no. Then once you've done that, you're looking at Travis Scott, you're looking at Jay-Z, you're looking at Kendrick Lamar. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I feel like the world. I feel like for me, it's all about stepping stones. And it's like the first stepping stone was YouTube rapper. The next is UK artist. The next is US, and then worldwide. And then I'm happy with that. And then I don't know where I'm going to go with there. I guess I'll figure out when it comes. Maybe I'll create my own label and bring up more artists and do that and promote them and just try and I guess improve the YouTube scene or YouTube music scene or whatever scene I want to improve, and and just go from there. And I feel like that's where my head is at when it comes to music. And I guess with the goals, like obviously getting a #2 album is insane. I want to be able to get a #1 album for my next project I put out, and then focus on hitting Billboard in the US and doing this and this, and it's all just steps. And I know it's not going to just happen like that, but my whole life hasn't been that. It's all been very gradual, and I like it that way. Rather than having a huge spike up and then a drop down, it's more just, gradual, and having a fan base that's been along with me the whole ride and supported me and helped me tremendously. And I just think it's really cool.
Has in an interview or any other sort of recording or anything, just to sort of mark your progress here in terms of your success in the UK or anything, in an interview, has Wiley ever said anything crazy about you, or just like
Wiley
gone off on you or anything? I feel like that's kind of like a rite of passage.
I think Wiley wanted to fight me, actually.
Okay, all right, you're there, dude. Say no more. You're there. But, you're well on your way. You're in the right direction.
I replied, no, man.
So,
but I respect Wiley too much to even want to go in the ring.
Sure. No, he is the Lord. He is the Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
So quickly before we take a few viewer questions and everything.
Yeah, of course.
You're a master of different kinds of content as well. I wanted to ask you this directly because I'm sure that you your reaction to my review and then my reaction to your reaction. Did I pioneer reactions to reactions? Did I invent that? Do I have the best reaction to a reaction that's ever been recorded?
I don't think you invented it, but you actually did a sick job. Like, I did at least one of the best ones. Yeah, you did a very good job.
Okay, good.
And I know it's I think the best on your channel.
You know, if I can't be the one who started it, I want to at least be like the godfather of it. So if right now I have at least one of the best reactions to a reaction, that's really that's all I want for right now. That's all I need for right now. Okay. So, all right, we're gonna take a few fan questions right now, and we'll make extra sure that they're sane. So Catasmic says, what are the things that you took away? What were the biggest takeaways from my review to your record that you feel like you're taking into the next album, that you're thinking of the most?
I think the singing. I felt like I could have done better with the singing, or the melodic things, melodic tracks. I could have done better with that, and that's something I've been improving on, and working on making sure it is absolutely like perfect. And I've had vocal coaches help me with that, just to improve on that front.
Putting in the work.
Well, that's it. You just have to, man. Like I'm what else? I think lyrically as well. I've made sure that with every lyric, it's all on point. There isn't any throwaways. Or nothing like, I guess with the whole kangaroo line on Wake Up Call and stuff like that. Yeah, I've gone, okay, I need to make sure like everything is perfect and there's none of that. And I think just I guess really like solidifying my sound as well, trying to figure out what I'm good at, and songs like Houdini and stuff like that worked, and it's like, okay, how to improve on that, and I guess be more comfortable on the mic, on tracks, and just essentially make a better album. And I feel like I had a good foundation with Dissimulation, and it's now all about just improving on that. So yeah.
Let's see, Lazar Cabbage 12. I don't know how the hell to pronounce that. It's a mash of letters. They want to know, to sort of like throw the idea out there and maybe make it more of a possibility. I don't know, but they want to know going forward what are some of the artists that you would like to collaborate with the most. Either on their track, your track.
Oh, okay. A$AP Ferg.
A$AP Ferg. Dude, Fergenstein.
Energy, man. I fuck with him so hard, man. I just know he can bring the energy on the track. And for me, it's like I'm just literally working on a track that would be perfect for him. And, hopefully he would say yes to it. Who else? I mean... Obviously, I'd love to work with Skepta, but I think it's kind of like one of those ones where Skepta hits you up. You don't ask Skepta, Skepta asks you. I think it'd be cool to do something with Slow Tie. I know he's releasing an album, and from what I've heard, it's mad. It's like huge, and it'd be cool to do something with him. I don't know what, but just something. Who else? Burna Boy. I think that would be cool. He's done bits in the UK, and I think it's a different sound that I haven't really tapped into, and I think it'd be cool just to see how I would fare with that. That Afrobeat style. I feel like I can do it. It's just I need to make sure it's like perfect. So again, I'm working on that. I'm pretty open when it comes to working with artists. Like, it's not like I say no to anyone. For me, like even if an artist comes to me and goes, do you want to jump in this track? You could have one monthly listener, you could have 100 million. Like, if the song is good, I'll jump on it. That's my mindset. And, obviously with my audience, I can always take a song further than it would go if the person, made the tune on their own. So That's just how I am, and that's how I feel. And you know, I just love making music. I love making songs. I love performing. That's just it. It's just a hobby. It just excites me. It's just something that I love doing. So yeah.
This next question is pretty interesting. Comes from a Samsky. This is something I actually wish I'd thought to ask you. I think it's a pretty interesting angle. They want to know, given your YouTube output and your internet life, as it were, your life being in the public eye in such a huge way.
Yeah.
Like, is it easy for you to also package personal stories and stuff that you've been through in your music? Like, do you think about how to deliver those stories and tell the things that are kind of happening to you? Hold on a second. Yeah. And, sort of go into more personal things sort of in your music? Kind of, is there a certain mindset that you have going into that? Or, do you wonder about people who are less familiar with you sort of through your content coming into those stories and having a different perspective on them?
Yeah, no, for me, I'm able to definitely, keep personal things personal. Like, I don't tell everyone everything. There's a lot of things that I'd love to keep personal. Obviously, my family situation, I've loved to keep that private. But it's one of those things where it's a public thing. But I still had a private situation where I put my words on the track, with my experience with that situation, and so on and so forth. And even situations with my girlfriend, or situations with friends, I'd mention that in songs. So I definitely feel like I keep a lot of things private, but I show a lot of things as well. So I definitely know how to keep the balance, because my audience don't need to know everything about my life, and I can be quite cryptic with how I put it out, through music. And I think I like that. I like being able to do that rather than just say it how it is all the time, because it kind of loses its mystery essentially. And also, I don't know. There's just things you just want to keep personal. There's just things you just don't want people to know, and I feel like my audience respects that. So,
Polyamorous Pablo wants to know, how are you able to collab with JME so early in your career, and did that help you get any some extra respect in the music industry? Also speaking from my own perspective, I love a lot of his material, and we're planning on trying to get him down here for an interview at some point too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because Jamie is fucking sick. Jamie is the GOAT, man. He's so cool, bro. Like, hands down, one of the best artists I've worked with ever. Like, he's just so cool, and he gets it. He gets the whole YouTube aspect. He gets the whole social media. He understands all of it, and he fucked with me early. A lot of artists were so hesitant, and they were just like, "Oh, I don't get it," and they would just wid it out, and they just thought it was really uncool. And Jamie was like, "Fuck all of that. I don't care, man. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm gonna just do what I want to do and make music." And Jamie has been a huge part of my musical career, and I can't thank him enough, man. Legit, like I always say, like, I've got his back no matter what. Same with P Money, man. Another artist that has always had my back and has always supported me, and I fuck with him heavy because like a person like me, a YouTuber making music, a lot of people would just go, "Oh no, fuck that," or I'm not keen on that. But they were on it. They fully understood it, and they were fully down. And I can't thank them enough. And for sure they helped my musical career tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, maybe what I'm about to say is pretty obvious, just merely from the fact that he's Skepta's younger brother, but he seems to have like such a sense of what makes for a good classic grime track, but he has such like he has a much younger sensibility. He doesn't seem like as much of an old head. Like he understands like the power of the internet, the importance of like a social media following, and you know, and as you just said, sees the legitimacy in like hip hop on YouTube, hip hop like on SoundCloud, hip hop in like various places, and you know, just sort of like gets that, and you know, and that also just very much comes out in his rhymes, and it comes out in his almost like I don't give a fuck type of style. Like it's like kind of hard to explain.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Don't change, Jamie. Don't change.
Kaio Dobro wants to know, this is very much a, you know, an Anthony Fantano audience specific question, but I imagine this is something you are familiar with because you know you view the videos as well. But people want to know if and of course you know you knew this question was probably going to come, or you know why this question exists. But have you ever listened to Death Grips? People want to know if you're into Death Grips.
No.
Okay, well that's fine. That's fine. That is okay. But are there any artists that you would say are like Fantano core, as it were, that like you actually do like enjoy? Because there are a lot of people in the audience who they love Brockhampton, you know, they love Charlie XCX, who's also from the UK too, and making a lot of noise right now.
Well, I mean, you gave Stormzy quite a high rating.
I did love the Stormzy record.
Yeah,
I did love the Stormzy record.
Dave as well. I know you.
I wasn't crazy about the Dave record, but if you're fucking with the Dave, I mean that's good.
Lil Sims.
I love that Lil Sims album. Gray Area is amazing. That is a fantastic record, in my opinion. That is a fantastic record, in my opinion.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, you don't got to recall all of them right now.
Yeah. I mean,
it's fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, but that's okay too. That you know you're not crazy about the Death Grips. You know, I love them. Man. I vouch for them. I vouch for them. Obviously.
Oh damn.
Well, people want to know if I guess they can start drama over this instead. They want to know if you can change my mind on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy being a 10. And that if you don't change my mind, they want to know if I'll spar with you. Says Amar Ali 17. So I guess if you can't convince me, they want you to punch it into me.
I'll spar with you, bro. Let's do it.
Are you sure? Am I at the right amount of subs right now? Am I at the right amount of subs? I feel like I need 10 million more subs. You know, honestly.
If anything, people would watch it anyway, man. People just love like YouTubers fighting.
They do. They do.
There's just some obsession about it.
Yeah,
I understand because it's kind of like, you know, everyone's putting everything on the line, and it's like whoever gets bragging rights, their fan base can, you know, go shit on their fan base, or you know, if the other person wins, and their fan base can shit on the other fan base. It's quite a territorial. I can't even say that.
Territorial
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it can get pretty ugly in the online space. There's a lot of negativity. Especially in reaction to music reviews. But we don't need to get into that.
Yeah. I mean, your comments.
Yeah, my comments. You know, I'll say, you know, sometimes I'll like. This isn't specific to you or any other YouTuber, but sometimes I'll be watching another YouTuber who I'm like a fan of, just in like another genre of YouTube, you know, totally different world. You know, could be anything from like I don't know, some music thing, or you know, like an art video or a comedy video or something, and I'll look at the comments and I'll just be like, oh, I love you so much. You're the best. You're the greatest. Oh my God, you're my Jesus, you're my everything. And it's, you know, I'm just like, I'm looking at that and I'm like, must be nice. Must be You know, it's like, then you go in my comments and it's like, Anthony, why did you say 30 racist things in this video? You didn't need to, I mean, you know, undoubtedly in the video under this interview, it's like, Anthony, you didn't need to say a million racist things to KSI. You know, you know, when I have done you know, live things, you know, live events, live bits, you know, I'll have a bit where, you know, I'll challenge everyone to raise their hands if you're making those fucking jokes in the comments. And it's like more than half the room always raises their hands. And it's everybody. It's like, it's white people, it's black people, it's women. They're all fucking doing it. And it's all like, I hate all of you. I hate you. I wish
it's the way to get upvotes. So.
I wish I could kick you out of the venue right now and keep your ticket money. Is what I wish. I hate all of you. So yeah, you know, but what I find to be really annoying about that is when people will come to me and be like, Anthony, you know, it's like your comments are really shit, and it's like, yeah, I know. What the fuck do you want me to do? It's like 90% of the comments on YouTube are shit. You know, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's like YouTube's not doing anything. I don't run YouTube. You know, it's like I have filtered tons of words and stuff, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, I suppose. All right. You know, I guess this is because this is a little bit of a meme amongst your audience. People want to know when you're going to go bald ski. People want to know about the bald ski. People want an answer on that front. They want answers, dude.
Well, I mean, I've already given them the answers. So I said I'd go bald if I got a #1 album.
That's right.
Simulation.
That's right.
And I didn't. And, you know, I was like, UK charts, you know, it has to be in the UK charts and all this, #1 album. And yeah, I didn't get it. I got #2, beaten by the 1975. So I was like, oh, well, I can't go
can we take a minute to just say, fuck the 1975? Like, really?
Hey, no. Shout out 1975, man.
I'm kidding too. I'm kidding too. No,
saved me. I think if I was, oh, man, I think the idea of me being bald just
there were a lot of good tracks on the new record. Shout out to the 1975.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, you shout on them though, ish.
Just a tad. Well, you know, the new record has just too many fucking tracks on it.
Yeah.
Why? Why? You know, it's like,
it's true. We all know why. We know why.
We know why. There are obviously great tracks on there. Obviously great tracks on there. Fantastic tracks. Some of their best tracks. And then there are some songs where it's just like, you know,
fillers.
It's fillers. You know, speaking of that, since it's such a trend, you know, next record, are you going to do any stream trolling? You know, 22, 25 songs?
No.
None of that? No.
Straight like 12.
Wow.
12. Yeah, always just, you know, bish bash bosh, you know, best of the best. That's
thank you.
Thank
you for not fucking around.
But I think you know the reason for me doing that is because, you know, I don't really care too much about like the money aspect or all of this and that. I can really just focus on the music. And, you know, back in the day, you know, artists would just create albums with 12 tracks and all this and that, and it was nice and concise. And it was, you know, you'd listen from the beginning to the end, and, you know, you'd have a good time. Whereas, you know, like, no offense to Drake, but him releasing Scorpion, man, that I hated that. Like, there was just so many songs, and it's just, no one has the time to just go through all of that. It's just ridiculous. Or even Chris Brown releasing God knows how many songs.
Yeah, I did like the double album or the 2-hour album or something.
Ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Everyone wants, you know, an album where it's nice and concise, you know, bangers upon bangers upon bangers, and then everyone's like, cool, classic album, and everyone's happy. And, you know, I think with the whole streaming thing, people have kind of tried to take advantage of it. And I think people need to just, you know, go back and focus on the music. And not care too much about, you know, like streams and all of that.
As much as I do personally agree with you, just because of how I consume music and how I, you know, sort of talk about it in the context that I do. You know, simultaneously, do you feel like focusing on an album is sort of like, you know, is that, do you feel like that's almost like an old-headed way of looking at things, or is that a thing of the past? Or, you know, it's sort of a phenomenon that you have these artists now, like 6ix9ine, for example, who seemingly just exist off the single. You know, they drop a single, it's so many millions of streams and views. There's a huge controversial blow up with every song and so on and so forth. Like, you know, do you feel like we're in a space where going forward that can just coexist with the album, or do you think the rise of that is a sign of sort of like the album format's eventual downfall or something?
No, I think both can coexist. I just feel like with an album, that's how you really gain a fan base when it comes to the music side. You know, with singles, it's a bit more risky because then you have to go, okay, every single has to be a banger upon banger. And then if, you know, a single flops, everyone's like, oh shit, here we go. Like, you know, is he is he flopping now? Is he gonna be shit now? Like, it's kind of, whereas with like an album, people can really like get invested in an artist. And, you know, when it comes to performing, you know, and that's a lot of the times what I look at, it just makes more sense to, you know, keep releasing albums. You know, I've released singles beforehand, but, you know, and EPs just because I wasn't ready to release an album. I didn't feel like I was at a stage where musically I was there. But, you know, now I feel like I'm at that point, and, you know, now it's just on improving on that. So, yeah, for me, I'm always going to be an album guy. And I guess I'll just release singles from the album I guess put out there.
All right, to tie things up, I wanted to ask you with you know, sort of societally things changing to the degree that they have as a result of the coronavirus and everything, which obviously you guys are dealing with better than us. You know, right now.
Well, I was gonna say, like, we've had our issues.
Oh,
like,
no, definitely, and I followed that,
Yeah.
and despite those issues, I still wish we were in your situation. Right now, our president has started back up the you know, daily or sort of semi-daily coronavirus meetings that he does because the ratings were good. Not because the information was sound or anything like that, but just because the TV slot was good. It was a good TV slot, so he's excited about the TV slot being back
America,
in, so,
man, you guys are different.
Yeah, we're different over here. Don't copy us ever again, okay? I know for a second over there we were doing the test and like the UK was like looking over our shoulder, like maybe we'll do a little bit of that too, you know. But it's like don't look at our test.
And
again.
then you guys just went left.
Yeah, we're failing the SAT right now. We're failing every portion of it. But you know, with things changing and having changed to the degree that they have, but obviously it's not going to be this way forever. But still, with having this album out, are you sort of like dying to get out there and tour behind this at all? Do like some live shows, sell out some venues, you know, do some like in-person performances and stuff, or is that not as much a focus for you?
I'd say no. I wouldn't say that's a focus for me because, you know, I'm being realistic. I know nothing's happening this year. Yeah. Like,
well, I mean, just the general idea of performing, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
is that something you're excited to do once
yes,
all
of
this
course.
is done? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Like next year, I want to release an album in time for festivals, and and then touring after that. Like that's where my mindset is. So that's why, you know, I'm already on to the next one. I'm already working. Like, you know, I'm just trying to increase the library of music that I have, so that when I do go to a festival or go on tour, you know, I have a huge batch to choose from. It can literally just be bangers upon bangers upon bangers. And, you know, I can make a show insane. And, you know, I'll put money in production and all this and that just to make sure everything is perfect. So, yeah, no, I can't wait to perform. You know, I'm itching to perform. Obviously, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I'm pissed because I had festivals booked for this year. Like, well, at the beginning of this year, I was like, this year's gonna be lit. I'm gonna have my album drop just before festivals, and then I'm gonna perform, and, you know, I'm gonna reach a new audience, and I'm really gonna just change the game, and it's just gonna be awesome. And, you know, show what a YouTuber can do, and all of this and that, change people's mind, change people's perception, and then everything just went out the window because of this whole coronavirus thing. So I've kind of like had to, essentially change and adapt. And I guess do plan B. And, you know, plan B was still release the album, you know, still do my thing. But, you know, obviously with performing and all of this, you know, I couldn't do that. So now it's just focusing on next year and, you know, working and improving on my craft for next year to make sure when I do perform next year, it goes off. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for talking with us and staying up late and being a killer guest.
No, this is really fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me, man.
It's been a good time. I'm just, you know, I'm looking forward to the new music, looking forward to the new record. Looking forward to the new album being better than the last Peppa album. I mean, Peppa fucking killed it on the last record, Peppa the Pig, which for me was like UK album of the year that dropped. Now I feel like you're close to like totally passing out the Peppa Pig record when she comes out with the second one, because my first one was just bangers on bangers on bangers, and the next one is going to just like, because some people are mentioning Peppa in chat, and just like, KSI ain't shit. It's all about Peppa. And
no, it's all right. It's all right. I'll beat that motherfucker.
You'll beat that motherfucker for sure. For sure. Everybody is also saying thank you though, and that they love you. And
thank you guys. Thank you. Like, thanks for staying up to watch this, or well, I guess for the Americans, thanks for just chilling in the evening for this.
This is early for us, and thank you very much. Thank you very much for accommodating.
No, my pleasure, man.
All right, you have a good one, man.
Nah, you too.
Bye.